We're good?
Yes. So
Hi,
you can introduce everyone.
Hi everyone. Before we get started with today's meeting, we're just going to go around the group and have everybody say their name. Now this isn't my area of expertise. Dean's just left, so I'm going to have to swing this. We'll end on Sanjay, but let's go. Adrian.
Hi, my name's Devi. Josh. Anita. Saroja. Priya.
Hi, Priya.
Joseph.
Emma.
Jimmy.
Rose.
Solana. And Dean's disappeared for the moment. And then Sanjay. And, oh, actually, Kat too. Give us a wave, Kat. Okay. Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, as Tanya, thank you. As Kat announced last week, Kat's in Poland at the moment, visiting the mother country and friends and family. And today we have a special guest speaker, Dr. Sanjay Raghav, and we're very grateful that he's agreed to speak today.
Can't hear a word.
What? Oh, really?
That's right. It's
Can you
pretty
hear
soft.
me? Is that coming through?
No, not properly actually.
Oh,
just gotta
maybe I
take
should
it.
not-
You haven't got the.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Microphone.
How about now? How's that? Can you hear me?
I don't know. I can't
It's
tell.
not connected to anything.
Yeah, it does use the recording. It doesn't have any.
It's all connected to space.
I'll speak up a little bit. So today, in Kat's absence, we have a special guest, Dr. Sanjay Raghav. And Sanjay was a good friend of Bob's. Sanjay's a neurologist. He really helped Bob, especially with his Parkinson's. And he's a good friend of Kat's as well, and of mine. I just don't see enough of him these days. But Sanjay has his own conscious circle group, still called, yes.
To call own is looks like a more burden on your head, when you say it's Sanjay's own. It's everyone's. Everyone is part of it. I believe we are all conscious circle. This is also a conscious circle, When you're conscious about consciousness, it's a conscious circle only.
No.
What, I need to speak something?
You do.
About what?
What would you like to talk about? Whatever comes up.
It's really hard to talk about something which your senses don't perceive, So pointing towards something which you cannot know, like you can know this speaker, you can know this computer. You cannot know it like that. So all the senses fail, mind fails, intellect fails. The reason is because it has no form, it has no name. It's not in space or time. We all are right now in it. and we are in it all the time. This body-mind complex and the situation and other beings, things, they are all in it. There is nothing outside it, nothing beyond it. To know it, I believe there is most important thing is your interest in it. Your longing, your interest brings you there in a way that you now identify it, not as an object, not even as an experience, but as something which was always with us. And because of our own ignorance, you can say, or our other interest in this word, we forgot that. But the moment you are interested in it, it is revealed. It is so simple and so easy and so direct. It has no name, and if you want to give it a name, you can call it God, you can call it divine, you can call it self, you can call from Advaitic point Brahman, awareness, Atman, Paramatman. It doesn't matter what you call it. Your body can be called by any name. Some people have many names, nicknames, and some friends call by some other funny name. Sometimes people change their name. That doesn't change anything. It is subtler than the subtlest you have ever thought of. Once you have a knack of it, you understand it. Whatever method you have applied or practice you have done, it can never leave you. And the simple reason is because you are that. The one who thinks he knows it is actually illusion. There is nothing beyond it, nothing before it. It is the source. And it has no problem if you say it does not exist, or I don't know, and I don't care. That awareness allows you to say whatever you want to say. It even allows you to do what you want to do. Though there are consequences of our actions coming from egoistic desires, it is not any type of punishment that it punishes you. I know for some people God punishes and He's watching and He tries to fix you. I think these are all concepts made by the human mind. He only is loving and He is kind and He is compassionate. And He is actually unconditional love. It never judges anyone. never punishes anyone. When we have suffering, it is our own creation and we suffer, and then we sometimes even we blame in dualistic mode as God, why you have done this to me? I'm such and such nice person. This is just a self-talk. He is always free. He is uninvolved. Just like when sun is shining on things and people are doing good work and bad stuff and whatever. You can't blame sun because sun came in morning when people woke up and they started their activities and they are doing different things. You can't blame sun that why you created day and look, I'm doing all the wrong things. It's your doings. Same is with that. It is always that uninvolved state. For an ego mind, it looks separate because this separation is created by us only. You go, you try to find this separate person within you, you investigate, and it disappears. There is no one there here who is doing, who is acting, who has goals. Things are just happening. Everything is happening. Happening in this moment only. Not in past, not in future. In this moment. If you want to know that and you want to be in that awareness all the time, you give up your separate identity. Whatever you have worked hard to create, that entity which you define by your bio or CV or resume, or what people think about you, or what you think about yourself. It is all mental creation. I know it actually gives happiness or some feeling of proud to some people. But I also have to say this is the only cause of suffering, nothing else. When we wake up, that ego which is in the seed form in deep sleep springs out and whole world is created. And I is created. And you is created. And we start our day as an individual. Watch this entity very carefully all the time. Watching can be mixed initially with ego, and you cannot separate it in one moment or one day. But this constant watching creates a gap in this observer and this entity which we think I am. Your constant watching to this entity which talks to thoughts, which plans the day, which has doership, which also has happiness and suffering. You just watch that entity. This watching is so powerful. Then this observer which is always uninvolved, is left. It is a gradual process and it takes time. It takes time because we still have interest in doership of this I identity. And it takes time, We have learned this conditioning from our school, from our society, from our family. And for deconditioning also we have to learn in a way. We have to practice. And the practice is just observing. This practice is very different from the usual meditation which people understand in religious context and also in a spiritual context. They think sit every day for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or go to a temple on Tuesday or a church on a Sunday and things will be sorted out. And this is much more a job than just simply doing for 10 minutes or on a weekend. It has to be constant practice. Because that entity, what we truly are, is always there, and that entity, what we think, is also there. So there is duality in our living. One is reality, the other is a reflection. But reflection will stay if you keep feeding that reflection as me. You observe, and you don't even have to judge this ego. And I can tell you, no ego is good ego. People sometimes say, oh, that person has a bad ego, I have a good ego. It's not like that. It is just a reflection which is conditioned by mind. No one to blame, nothing to judge. Not to judge yourself, not to judge others. Try to fix the problem. Get rid of it. For some people, this observing can be difficult if they have never practiced it. And they can question that, I don't understand this. Because they're always in their thoughts and self-referential ego circuit is what they know. So you can use small other techniques as well. And I was talking this morning to people that ego's habit is to choose the best for itself, whether you live in society, with family or whatever. So whenever there is a deliberate choice to select something, what ego wants, you can select exactly opposite to that. This way, the ego can be taught a lesson. Because look, when you do anything with your intuitive awareness, you are not selecting anything. That is the space we have to be. But we have to start where we are. So if we are in the ego mode and we select things, because ego is selfish, ego only wants to serve this body-mind complex. It wants best for the body. And it can also do in a way to impress others, giving best to you rather than to me. So people can say, oh, Sanjay is such a nice person, He gave the best to Dean and he just accepted the lower stuff. So, It works in so many ways. And you don't have to prove a point to anyone in this world, not even to this ego. You just have to be out of it. So you have to work very consciously and in a very alert mode. That is why they call it awakening. And this is the reason why, all the things which are seen as depressants, alcohol and all, are not considered good in this process, because they take away your that awareness mode, which is in the prefrontal cortex. I'm using some neurological stuff because science is trying to catch hold of these things. So people who are more skeptical can understand and accept it, It's not something voodoo or something, something you are imagining in your mind or creating, in a group or in a cult. It's nothing like that. It's so easy. And nowadays this guru and chela and all these drama of disciple and teacher is also is better not to talk about those things, because they also get very dirty. So best is to believe in your own guru, which is your own self, and work from there. Only thing which is needed is your own honesty with your own self. That's all is needed. When you are honest with your own self, it is always there and you will find it. But sometimes people try to find it outside, They go to where the God lives, in those synagogue and temple and church, to find it there. And we bribe him that you give me this, I'll give you this. So we do all those sorts of things also. Ego does all things. Ego has created a separate God also. So keeping that God on a higher pedestal, so we can do all the petty stuff, We can continue doing and then we will bribe him, building a temple or doing something like that. But when you take responsibility that I have to fix this internal problem, and there is no external God which is doing anything good or bad to me, then you can fix it. And it is a beautiful journey, and on this journey you meet so beautiful souls, and there is so much of peace in this. Even in this process there is peace and calmness and love. So the process is so beautiful, and as you slowly unfold, you get addicted to it, addicted to your own self. Then it's not boredom when you are alone. Then the solitude is so blissful. And people talk about dispassion, in Advaita, they say dispassion is very important. But you don't have to create dispassion. When you love yourself so much, you have no passion about anything. You only love that. So dispassion happens, and longing is the initial part, which I believe is a grace, act of grace from that only. Not everyone has longing. Sometimes because of love, you want to tell people around you, oh, this is so beautiful. They say, I'm not interested, So there is also something, grace works on us when we are interested in it. Otherwise, there are so many people in this world. How many are interested in this? Handful. Out of handful people, some people only come to know this only when they are in crisis, when they are having some suffering, tragedy. And when the tragedy, suffering is gone, then they go back into the same type of egoistic life. So they come, but then they don't stay there. And then there are some who stay and they find the truth. So I believe, I would say we all should have this feeling of gratitude for whatever the life, the way it has brought us here, And whatever the life has done to you, good or bad, you should be thankful to it. Because if things would have not worked that way, you would have never come here. And I think I'm so thankful that, I've been given an opportunity to talk among you fellow beings who are beautiful, beautiful forms of awareness together in this journey. And this journey becomes so beautiful, when everyone is for peace and non-violence, I would say, in this word, because right now the way the word, you can see these forms. So we need more people who are established in this pure self. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. So beautiful. This, I'm aware Kat's been listening, and perhaps Kat would like to speak while others maybe think about any questions they have for Sanjay. So we don't have Sanjay for the whole time, but maybe another half an hour. So sooner rather than later. Kat, can you hear me?
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you very much, Sanjay. That was lovely to hear. Discovering the responsibility within that I'm not gonna live like that. That's just so, and it's relatable. Yeah, anyone? Questions? Quickly. So let's make the most of him.
No, I can come again.
Neither are you. I just wanted to say how amazing it is to be sitting here with Dean and Sanjay and Kat and every single one of you. I feel so much appreciation and gratitude for the fact that these kind of these two groups, which I've loved for some years now, are connected in this way. I just feel very happy. And a lot of gratitude.
As if your parents are reunited.
Yeah. So yeah, I have no question really, but I just wanted to share that reverence for everyone, Solana and Cole and Ross and Tibble, Jimmy, Heyman, Joseph, Priya, Saroja, Anita, and Davey and Adrian and Tanya and everyone. With that's and Pesto 1 and Pesto 2, and of course Bob, who is ever with us, and so many of you have helped me so much as my teachers and guides and friends, and I just want to acknowledge all of that, the assistance, and just that love and gratitude. So yeah, thank you.
Sweet, sweet.
I sometimes I noticed my mind switches off, but what I noticed that in the beginning was very different than I'm used to when I was here, and when this pausing was happening, I noticed that that is the speaking, but then when the pausing was happening and I observed the room as well, there were two things popping up in me, which was one, I'm like, oh, does it get uncomfortable or does it get comfortable? And once I let the uncomfortable pass, the uncomfortable was, are you not sure if you want to say something or not? And everyone expecting from you to say something. But once I let that go, it felt like so much presence. And I'm noticing, oh, hang on, there's some noise outside. It's like I noticed a lot of presence happening and relaxation. And I don't know whether that's the same topic you're trying to point towards, but that is something I got aware of, and that was very different experience that I'm used to have when I was here. So that was quite interesting when you point something out and you pause, and that pause was like, oh, there's not much, doesn't need to be so much content to say. It seemed to be more to look inwards. So that was good, and now I'm noticing myself quite happy sitting here. I'm noticing myself feeling connections. I think I smile quite a bit. I feel warm in the face, and yeah, that's sort of what I noticed without having questions. But I like to say that, yeah.
What you call as pause, I would say that is not a pause. That is a constant silence, which is the substrat of everything. Words cannot take you there. Words only points towards what you are calling as pause. That is what it is. Because remember, whenever we speak, we are taking an aid from the mind. You are using the speech faculty. You are putting an intention from the source, though it might be from the source, but intention is coming from the mind, and it's coming. But the more pure is the pause, which you are calling as pause, is the silence. So I appreciate that. That is where those all talks should take you.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dean, and everybody else. Thank God. Please repeat the word in relation to alcohol consumption about prefrontal cortex, because I wasn't fortunate enough to hear it.
About alcohol?
Yes, the consumption of.
Look, alcohol is a CNS depressant.
Yeah.
And just understand in a very simple way, it is more awakening, more aware of what's happening. And it is a CNS depressant. It will depress your faculties, which will help you to awaken. That's what I'm saying. So it can't be an aid. And then it has its own tendency that the parts of the brain which you feel calm, because it's not coming in the domain of your thoughts right now, but it comes with a vengeance when it's not in the system. So it's not a solution to the problem. I'm saying this because I know so many people around us, they get into alcohol because they can't tolerate the suffering around and the thoughts within, and they want to get rid of it. Their purpose is good, but it does not serve that purpose.
As you truthfully and correctly and rightly mentioned in your spiel, that noticing this awareness or consciousness or Atman or Brahman bring us a lot of fortune. That's my own translation. This subject matter will be one of the problems that's going to resolve by practicing the practices. And I very agree with you about daily practices and not only practices on weekend or occasion practices. Daily practices for eternity is the real meaning of devotion. God bless you. Thank you.
About 11:05. Dean, is there anything on the comments from the online community? Any comments about the volume of the sound? That's good.
Sally says thank you for talking from the spaciousness. And Catherine says love to all, simply blown away by the synchronicity of God meeting you as a neurologist. And
we maybe Dean, you need a stick.
oh yeah, maybe I need a stick. But this is the only message, and I actually need glasses as well. So just leave it. Unless can you read it?
Just that one.
There you go.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you. So Catherine O'Reilly says, love to all, simply blown away by the synchronicity of Bob meeting you as his neurologist. I am not typing as you are talking, as weather patterns have disrupted reception. Perhaps I will have to join the meeting later. And then it says Catherine is watching, and I think that's, some thank you for talking from the spaciousness from Sally Brucker. Catherine's back on. And I think that's the extent of the comments so far. Jimmy, please.
Hello.
Sanjay, it was lovely hearing you speak and sort of seconding what Yosef said. I was really loving the silence between the words and the silence that the words were coming from. I would love it if you could speak to heartache and pain and being present with it and what that looks like and feels like.
Sorry, can you repeat it?
I would love if you could speak to heartache and darkness and suffering a little bit more.
Heartache.
Yes.
I don't think I can speak much about this because whatever you pick, mind straight, they're all same. Whether someone is greedy or someone is highly emotional or someone is after lust or someone is fearful. These are different emotions coming only from the mind. Because whatever the picture in front of us the mind is showing, we believe on it. And we believe that I am the one who is having heartache, or someone has left me, or whatever darkness is happening. It's all in the domain of mind. You can call it any type of emotion or feeling. It is all coming because of identity as body-mind complex. So you don't have to fix different emotions in a different way. There's one fix for everything. Give up this identity which believes I am the body-mind complex. And that is by practice of that. And I'll tell you, any type of emotion, whatever you describe, comes only in form of a thought. Some thoughts come with strong emotions. So who is talking to these thoughts? Who is listening to these thoughts? That entity needs to be observed. And when that entity is not there, there is never a thought. Or if there is a thought, it's like a floating cloud. You are unaffected by it. So importance is in practice to get rid of this association with the mind-body complex. The one who is engaging and feeling that I have a problem. Actually, the problem is I, not the I have a problem. If I gone, there is no problem. Problem is there because of I only. Rest we can blame our situation, our circumstances, and this has happened. So my take on any of these emotions is the same, that you look within who is suffering. As Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi used to say, who am I? Find that I and go to the source. And then you will realize, oh, there is no sufferer. Rather than sorting out the issue, you sort out who is having the issue, and then you will find there is no one there. So this is the thing. And this is the absolute teaching of, and this is the absolute which you will know within you. Others work only in the domain of mind. All psychology, psychotherapy, so all those types of things definitely help. But if you want from the absolute, then there's no sufferer and there's no suffering.
And, just remind you that people have had profound awakenings in the middle of torture. You're not the body. You're not the person. And, you know, that end of suffering arises when you stop identifying with that. It doesn't deny that it's happening, just doesn't identify with it as much. And, yeah, it stops identifying. Yeah.
Did you say talk to or torture?
Talk to you later.
I want to amend something that I said earlier. I said so many of you have helped me, and I want to actually amend that and say every single one of you. So I'm not discounting anyone anyone's influence. So I guess also yeah, just thank you. Just want to say thank you. So thank you, God and everyone.
Check if Kat has anything.
Oh yeah.
She'd like to offer.
Yeah, now you can speak.
I'm just enjoying, I really, really enjoy. I loved, Sanjay, how you actually started the whole talk. That was brilliant to actually point out, and I just want to highlight it because it is so precious, so valuable, that, you know, people are spending lifetimes, decades, seeking outside themselves to find some special state. And Sanjay, you said right from the beginning, this cannot be known in the same way that you know another person. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a shape. So looking in this way is just futile. It's never going to bring any fruits, any results. It doesn't have any name. It isn't like knowing someone's face. That was just right from the start. And then the silence. Words. But can you not know it really? Can you not know it? The existence itself is the knowing, is the knowing of the consciousness. But it is not the same knowing as we know each other. And by the way, I also enjoyed Josh highlighting the two groups coming together as if they were ever separate. That also that Sanjay wrote the books on silence, which he gifted to Bob, and Bob gifted Sanjay a book, and that was one of the last books that Tanya and Bob and we would just read a chapter a day aloud and really enjoy. Just to see slightly different language, but the same clarity shining forth and being shared. As if there was no separation. Because guess what? There isn't. There isn't. Everything happens within that faceless spaciousness, that awareness of existence. Yeah, again, I'm really grateful that this is happening. As I sent also in Sanjay messages that I got from strangers, a person who just somewhere on the other side of the world saying that, oh, I don't know if you know that there is this other guy, Sanjay, I love him to bits, and you should meet. Well, I say, I do wish that it will happen one day, that you will come and speak on our meeting. And there we are. So, yeah, continue. People contribute, you know. As usually we have the other half of the meeting. Everybody is aware that they exist. There is a lot of people here who realize that seeking outside for any pleasant, special state makes no sense. And of course, there is no person that realizes. There is no ego that realizes. The realization just dawns the same way the realization that any realization of something forgotten just dawns, it just arises in consciousness. And in that clarity, there is no self, there is no one to seek, that there is nothing to be found. The existence shines out of its own light, and it shines, and because it shines, you up, and you can see, feel, taste, touch, smell. So in a way, I also enjoyed when Sanjay said, you can, if you want to give it a name, it doesn't have one. It can't have one. But if you want to give it a name, it sometimes gets a name God. So that consciousness that is beating your heart, that is leaving you, if you call it God, that is God looking out of your eyes. Get out of the way and let him look, let him experience, let him see, let him hear, let him speak. And sit back and marvel at the unfolding. Enjoy the ride. Who is enjoying? Well, if there is no self, it's still God. It's still only that one self that is enjoying, with no one else. It's enjoying through all the different modalities, all the different patterns, shapes, and forms. So there are people here in that group, there always have been, who understood fully that there is no self, and they move out of the way, and the beautiful expression comes. And there are also people who understood, and they are not people that understand. They're just, again, the clarity dawning. Some things or the other, some pointers that strike home. They will grow of their own. And as Sanjay says, deconditioning of that habit of engaging with the narrative mind is gradual and takes time. Realization that you exist is immediate. Who doesn't realize that they exist? We all realize that it's existing. But yes, the habit of constantly attending to the chatter and chasing behind pleasure and avoiding pain, that habit will persist, but not from that clarity of existence. It's entertaining. Nothing wrong. It's entertaining. But I would like to invite everyone with full clarity or with partial clarity or with just a couple of pointers that have been seen through, to contribute them. Let God speak. Let them shine forth, and let anyone who can hear it and tune in resonate and realize, oh yes, of course. Because that's what the realization is, of course. There is nothing that you don't know. If it was, it wouldn't be it. Because it wouldn't be omnipresent, omnipotent. Please, let me hear, let us hear, let God hear.
Thank you, Kat.
So ask Sanjay questions. Ask him questions, He's got such a beautiful way of explaining things.
Firstly, thank you, Sanjay. That was so beautiful, and it felt so pure. So it feels so pure and just non-judgmental, and it just feels like it's coming from that space, detached from all that worldly way of speaking. I've had an interesting experience the last 18 months. A lot of really heavy fear-based egoic patterns tormenting me in a lot of way, and not being able to sleep over a fair bit of time. And it's slowly stuff has been coming to the surface. And last night it got really terrifying and really bad, and I started praying to God, and I started asking for help. And because I do a lot of energetic work, and I realized that we're just energy. I'm just energy that is aware. Like that's undisputable. But these egoic patterns come up, and then it snapped off and it collapsed, and then there was just awareness. It feels like sometimes on the pointiest end of the suffering, something snaps, or something, the ego gives up or something. And I realized I had to go deeper into the space itself in terms of the focus, and not the mind. It was sort of like I had to go deeper, which went underneath all the crap on top. Anyway, I probably haven't had a great sleep, so I didn't mind not explain that too well, but it's sort of has happened.
Yeah, look, whatever is happening, you can still see that it's all happening in awareness only. And problem again is the same identity with all what is happening in the mind as happening to me. when this impersonal awareness, which is actually there, but to get into it, you have to give up this relationship with what mind throws on you. It is not easy, and I have to say it needs patience, perseverance, and when those big clouds of suffering comes from the mind, it looks like it's not going to end, and I can't sleep, and all the past comes on, haunts you and all. But it ends. It always ends. If I ask you what happened 6 months ago when you had a last sleepless night, you will not even remember what exactly happened. It's like that. They have no significance. So we only give significance by thinking that they are trying to threaten me, and so it's a self-created fear. But see it in the vastness of awareness, and accept whatever is coming, because it is coming because of the conditioned mind. And if you don't entertain, they will stop coming. If you don't get fearful, they will never come to you. It's like, some people are bully. They bully to one who gets bullied. And if you don't get bullied, they don't bully you. Same is our mind. You don't worry about, and it will go away. And when you pray, prayers have strong power. You pray to God, that God in you pulls you in. When your prayers are humble and with honesty, it works, always works. So use prayers also. Look, in this journey of realization, we should not say, oh, I follow only this, and I can't do this, and I can't do japa, I can't do pray. Doesn't matter. There are all ways. Use whatever support you can gather, and it will all help you.
I like what you said about being pulled in, because that's felt like there's been a few of those occasions where I've been pulled in. Just take me, and it's, you can't describe that, but that's what it's felt.
How are you feeling now?
I'm pretty serene.
That's what your base. That's what we all are. And then sometimes these things comes, and doesn't matter.
Is that right? Yes. Yes, Sanjay might have to.
Thank you, everyone. Nice meeting all of you.
Thank you.
Love your presence, everyone's presence. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the people who are, I think, online as well. Thank you for attending. Thank you, be part of it, and keep this group going. And I would suggest there should be much more gatherings everywhere in all parts of the world. It will be so beautiful, We need hundreds of Kat and Tanya and Dean and everyone, So everywhere it is the same thing happening.
Thank you, Sanjay. The meeting will continue, though.
Yeah.
So, yes, we'll still continue for another 35 minutes. Thank you again for coming. I need to go as well, but that's okay. So we'll just, the meeting will continue just as a few people move around and shuffle themselves. Is there anyone that would like to give their interpretation or expression? Or you can't question Sanjay because he won't be here.
Okay, let's go.
Nearly. Thanks. Thanks, Ross.
I just wanted to acknowledge Adrian's observation. It seemed to resonate here that whenever those situations come along, there doesn't seem to be a way out, and yet the way out is always within. And you feel there's that great after such a experience, you feel there's that great reservoir that has no limit within. That there is the limitless peace and security. It's always there. It takes some sort of a whack over the head to sort of bring you to that.
Force you there.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to open the chair. Do you want to sit? Yeah, no.
I don't mind. I'm not talking.
I think you were almost asking for it, but not quite. No, that's okay. Anita?
Suffering, as a human life, we will all have suffering. We'll all have profound suffering we'll experience, every one of us. For me, a few years, about 5-6 years ago, I had a profound breakdown after a very long marriage. And in that, my mind was insane. It was insane. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I was crazy. I couldn't sleep. And the only place that was a refuge I found was awareness at the Heart Center. I have a huge, long history of yoga practices. None of them helped me because I couldn't, the mind was so broken. But I remember finding the heart space, which is what Ramana talks about. There is a heart space where it's completely still. I mean, it is a practice in some ways, but it shut the bloody mind off. That was just insane. It started to give me strength coming back into the body, out of the craziness. And I found that really a profound, it's just an awareness thing. There is a space that can be held, an awareness place in the body, which is still. Oh my God, what a relief. I would have been dead probably by now. So it's just something that was my experience, And they do talk about that heart space as being, the sea of love and stillness, and out of that love grew, So anyway, that was just my experience. I was just thinking that it was such a profound experience at a time when the mind was so broken that it was of great value.
Look, stereo.
Thank you. I haven't got any magic solutions for suffering, but everybody suffers. I mean, my God, I can remember times, years where, I didn't sleep at all, and it was really, really painful. But I suppose what I do is I look at it and I just think, well, that's what's happening, and shrug my shoulders, because there's absolutely nothing in here is going to affect that out there. It's just going to happen, and it's going to play out, and enjoy what I have got. I think that's really, and as I say, but there's no solutions there. That's just the way it is.
I often wonder.
Take it one at a time.
I often wonder, though, if the deep suffering we will all experience is the jumping off point for a deeper spiritual experience. And its value. I never decried the fact that I had that severe period in my life. It was the most profound and wonderful period. And somehow, you can't say, oh, it's good you're going through all that suffering. Yeah. So it's good you're going through all that suffering, because, man, are you going to have fun on the other side? It doesn't make it anything, doesn't it? Yeah, no, you're going to go somewhere really good. Maybe not this time, maybe next time. But anyway, that's just something.
Yeah, what came up just before was to me that when I have situations where it feels suffering, the mind or wants to change it, and then run away. Or I think the run away doesn't really work too much for me. I'm actually the opposite, but it's sort of, I think the clarity that whatever is in my physical or mentally actions, I be clear that I've done what I've done, sort of thing. So it's sort of like that clear view of whatever is in my power to have the best outcome. I satisfied with what my actions were good, and once that is sort of clear, I can relax, and then after that it's just feeling it. I mean, once this is clear and I'm like, I've done what I've done, I can tell myself I've done the best I've done. That's all in my power, and that's it. I can take that off. And once this is off, I'm like, it's just feeling it. And the earlier you feel it, the better, the quicker we'll be born. Yeah, that's to me what I learned. So what came up, yeah. And to allow it to feel it, it's sort of, after this, it feels like relief and so much more true. I don't know what there's no picture of the true. It's just a feeling. It feels like, this is my center. It's the center, and it feels like there's nothing more to avoid or get or anything. It's just like, this is it. There's no other word I can say, but that's how I can describe my experience. Yeah.
Let's check in with Kat. Kat, can you hear us? Anything you'd like to offer up?
Yeah, let me just close the window because it's really noisy out there. Yeah, I can hear you all, and I don't know what to add. So many of you have so much of understanding already. I mean, just maybe what Sanjay was actually already commenting on, little tricks or little helpful means that can medicate the suffering if they arise, and just acknowledging it. If the prayer arises, acknowledging that. It is not to panic, oh my gosh, this is a practice, oh my gosh, there is separation, me and God, that's all wrong. The main principle of that understanding is that no one does anything. So if the prayer arises, that's just what arises. No one does it. No one does need to take positive or negative credit. Full stop. It's just natural flow in which there is a beauty in that serenity, in which one can find oneself on the knees crying out for help, for respite. The space that is witnessing that is itself free from suffering. And having that guts to really be the space and let yourself dive to whatever intensity arises. Let that be experienced fully, with no reservations. If there is a cry out for help, there is a cry out for help. And seeing it in its full glory is just the juice of life, it's the beauty of life. Because living long enough, we all had humbling moments. Because without that so-called painful or negative, there would be no pleasant or positive. So life fluctuates, and things take turn. Currents come in and the currents come out, and the day light comes in and then the night comes, and then it's warm and summer, and then there is a winter. So the way the life fluctuates and moves takes us, it takes itself to all sorts of diverse, beautiful, juicy, intense experiences. That's the point. One essence experiencing, appearing, experiencing, and expressing itself. Without that expression, which is dualistic by its very nature, without that duality of anxiety and courage and pain and pleasure in all its beautiful facets, there is no expression, there is no experience. Without that duality, there is no acknowledgement of that oneness, of the non-separation. The non-separation is still a fact, it's nothing can be said about it or can be questioned, but to experience it. Space, if it doesn't have the mortal element of a vehicle that it can use to see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, it doesn't even know that it is. The potentiality for conscious awareness is there, but it's not realized unless there is a human form or any other form. Unless there is a form, will stop, because form may arise in a dream. It doesn't have to be human. But through that form, the formlessness, it's known. I think this would Bob sometimes would quote Saint Tukaram word, that by worshipping the form, I attain the formless. By worshipping one's own form, and it's not really a worshipping, but acknowledging it. The formless behind that gives it life, that animates it, that, like he says, doesn't have any face, doesn't have any shape. That is known, that is acknowledged. Not as a person, not as an object, not as anything in particular, because it is unobjectifiable. But at the same time, it's undeniable. So even to look at events in life, the winters of life, or the stormy weathers, the rainy weathers of life, it's really rainy here. Because of that changing weather, aliveness is acknowledged. So even when there is a humbling moment in life, when that river of life takes you to the places where it's swampy and smelly, stagnant, or the opposite, takes you places where there is incredible overwhelm and the stress level is very high. These two shall pass. Those are just a phenomenon. And resting back in that silence and seeing those phenomenal points in the flow of life, phenomenal ways it experiences, whether the river is flowing smoothly and slowly, or whether it's flowing really fast and the stress level is really high, or it drops in a waterfall and whirlpool. Seeing that from the perspective of that sky, like awareness, that silence, that stillness, seeing it as a flow within the consciousness that is still. That stillness brings the sense of relaxation and its sense of ease. And even when the overwhelm and stress happens, it is less personal. It is less serious. It doesn't have a sting. Sting goes out of it, like what would say. It's just the appearance. It's like as if, something happened to the costume, but nothing happens to the space that animates it. Like, if you spill a red wine on a dress, you didn't spill it on yourself, you spill it on the dress. If the life is bashing you by having a really high demand of really focused attention, well, that may be a way life is moving you elsewhere. Either to find the ease and deal with that high demand of focused attention in a dancing movement and enjoy it, or move away. And it's not up to you. You will see where the river of life is going to flow, and it is always going to flow. through the path of the least resistance. For some people, the path of least resistance is to coming from one abusive relationship to another abusive relationship, because that is familiarity. But in that familiarity, there is lightness. And there still could be a way of dancing through it, just moving the way the river moves. And there is always that part which is still the pure consciousness, the witnessing presence, in which the turmoil and challenge and abuse and whatever it is happen. And that space, that knowing, isn't abused. There is no red wine spilled on it. Even when the body is challenged or the mind is challenged, the space is not. It unconditionally allows the challenges of the mind, of the body, because that's unconditional. And without those painful moments, pleasure cannot be known. Without those serene moments, the gratitude cannot be known, or whatever you define the opposite. And just that capacity for knowing, that stillness, and the content of the knowing is ever changing. It's like the content of the sky is ever changing. But the sky doesn't. And you are the sky. And even though habitually the mind constantly engages from one cloud to another and constantly project and look for another weather, what's the weather going to be tomorrow? Well, the sky, there is still the part in your heart, not in the mind. Mind is restless, mind is moving. But in the heart or in the gut or whatever, again, as long as it's not in the moving mind, in that stillness that doesn't have location, that is here, it's always here, that has absolutely no preference and it's absolutely free from everything, from suffering, from change. And that is always accessible. It's just relaxing the restless mind. Don't mind the mind. Just relaxing that restless mind for a moment. And in that relaxation, there is that respite, that moment of respite. That yes, there is nothing wrong ever, unless the thought arises and is attended to and believed. If that thought arises in the space and is known the same way the bird is flying through the sky, or the cloud is moving through it, or the wave is moving, it doesn't hurt. If it's known from that stillness, from that absoluteness of existence, always here, that which resides in the heart, not in the mind. The restlessness of the mind is known, is noticed. And there is nothing wrong with that. Yes, but it is uncomfortable. Of course, without discomfort, there couldn't be any appreciation for comfort. And it is temporary. It will move on too. The tension, the stress, it will move on. And if you relax to the tension, what happens to it? If you realize that you are the space already relaxed, in which that tension arises, or anxiety arises, or insomnia arises, in the space that is already free, that doesn't mind.
Kat, that was beautiful. You know, when when the heartache arises, the ache arises, be the space for it. Be the space for it. If it calls for crawling up in a ball like a baby and crying your eyes out, let it come. No resistance. Be the space for it. Don't save it up for later. This is true. It's what it's like. No, no, just let it come. And you'll see it passes. If you fully let it express, fully express, go into it, love it all. It's not as painful or as frightening as the mind's told you. You just go into it. And that is where you find that sweet spot, that quiet, that presents itself because it's satiated. You've been the space for it. And in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. What does that mean? It means we give the Word the power of God. Oh, we believe it like it's God over us. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's a vibration in no thing. Comes and it goes. That's not real. It's ever changing. Don't pay attention to the commentary. If you want to pay attention to what's going on in the body. Let it come. Love it all. All this talk about mind and ego and everything is all part of the dream. This is all part of the illusion. It's just an appearance, all of it. And there's nothing wrong with any of it. Love it all. Because eventually, we're going to run out of time and space in the illusion. It's going to end. So
and it came to pass.
And it came to pass.
Yeah, thanks.
Cole.
Just look, I'm not trying to give solutions. I'm just.
I didn't need it.
No, I'm just. I want to give you just a couple of things that I'm saying. When I've faced with things where there's conflicts in life, I find it really difficult to make a decision. And it tears it at you. Yeah, and I'm always reminded by the Hinsi Min that says, if you set up what you like against what you dislike, that's a disease of the mind. The mind does that sort of thing, and the result is inevitable. Okay, you're going to be tense and like that, and I know that's look. I know that's so difficult, but just by contrast, something that happened to me earlier on this year that was horrible. Okay, I was in a situation where every breath I took, and it was a deep breath, was followed by a scream in pain. Yeah, and that went on for 20 minutes. And you know what? I wasn't there. That was a total letting go. And I could see it happening, and it was fine. It was just happening. Yeah?
You're untouched.
Yeah.
The thing that it happens within.
Yeah.
The spaciousness that it's happening within is untouched by it. Yes, it's exactly like that. It's beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes, during my breakdown, there was no ability to separate from the pain because it was so crazy.
Yeah.
And the body was so sick.
Yeah.
But finding that there is a spaciousness within the heart space, which is all the yogis and everything. So that did help in the short term. It was the door opening into freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom didn't stop the craziness for a while with the body, but there was a relief. There was an understanding that I'm not that.
Yeah.
I am that. It's all part of me, but I'm, that happens with inside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. That was a beautiful story.
We have another question here from David, and it was for Sanjay. Unfortunately, as we know, Sanjay had to go, but he asks, can the impact of alcohol, if any, on awakening be clarified from a neurologist's perspective? And I thought, in general, Sanjay's perspective is that alcohol certainly doesn't help with clarity. That said, 30 years of alcohol research, and having this conversation with Bob. Gee, Bob, in fighting, in a way, against the alcohol industry for 30 years. But here sits a man 96 years old. Half of his life was spent in the depths of alcoholism, serious alcoholic psychosis. And look what emerged. And Bob said, well, no, nothing has brought more souls to God than alcohol. Maybe there's the other end of the stick. Okay, and this is, if it's what gets you there, it's what gets you there in the story, right? Yeah. But this too shall pass. Everything changes in the story. Nothing stays still. There's only one thing, and I'm calling it a thing. It is no thing that is unchanging, and that is that stillness that's there wherever you go, whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. Totally untouched, aware, awake, alert, quiet, still. Beautiful. Dean, give us something.
Give us a song. Well, I guess got some serious things to discuss. Well, Sanjay's not here now, and but he started the talk and he referred a lot to this ego, and I just want to sort of mention that at the end here, and what is ego, and then we sort of refer to a body-mind system, and there's a understanding consensually that there's a me sitting in a chair, there's a you sitting there, there's all this kind of thing going on, and within this is a bundle of thoughts, and the ones that have the I, me, my associated with them refer to this body-mind entity, this individuality, this thing called me. This is non-duality, and look, Joseph, you said you found your center. Where the fuck is the center? There is no center, and there is no central reference point where all these things that I just mentioned are. And you mentioned Adrian, energy. Everything's energy. Is it not like the same thoughts that describe I, me, my are still energy patterns appearing as thoughts? It could be an energy pattern appearing as a description of this. It doesn't actually matter what it is, but the I, me, my ones seem to have this reference point, this center point. The back of the head is very common, behind the eyes, in the chest, whatever. There isn't one. There actually isn't one. And so if there isn't one, these energies are describing, who are they describing what to? To who? To who? There are energies appearing as suffering, energies appearing as this is dark, this is bad, this is good, this is sad. It goes on and on and on, and they're all in reference to my story. And they're if everything is energy, then there is nothing outside of energy. So it's an infinite display, a kaleidoscope of different energy patterns appearing as this room, as bodies, chairs, thoughts, words, sound. Like the whole show is the energy. You can't get out of the energy, you could say. There's nothing outside of the energy field. And the energy field, what is it appearing in or as? It's actually space. And the space is empty. So the energy in its essence, in its unmanifest in stillness, in the silence, is nothing. Is potentiality, is just there, and then boom, it explodes into potentiality of this energy, and the energy can appear as thoughts, as a me, there is no ego as such. There is actually, it's even worse than that. It's more dire than any of that. There is no me, there is no you, there is just what is happening. This is like the Bob that I'd like to just wrap it up by bringing it back to Bob, start the fact that you are that. And I'm going to end the meeting end with the fact that you are that as well, because there is nothing outside of that. And in this case, we're describing it as energy. You can describe it any way you want, but like for this example, call it energy. That is the energy, and it's an infinite array of energy in colors, in shapes, in sounds, and in movement. And it's patterning, shaping, forming. That's right. And it's a constant show. And who or what is it appearing to? No one. Like, it's just the appearance. You think that there's, who's looking at this appearance saying, oh, I'm seeing energy? There is no one seeing energy. There is nothing in front of your eyes but space. And it's not registered in a particular place. It's just registering itself. That's why it's called empty. Look, I don't know what these terms are called, but it's emptiness, cognizing, intelligence, energy, Bob used to call it, cognizing emptiness. Like, you can act. I'm not describing terms from philosophical or religious or spiritual teachings. That's just the bloody experience, just exploding out in these words now. And it's everyone's though. It's everything, because there's one essence, patterning, shaping, forming, as this expression, as this talk today, as this, and all the story of the past and everything is immediate. The other aspect is the absolute immediacy. There is no doubt about the immediacy. It can't be. Everything is always being registered now. It can't be registered other than now. The memory can only be registered now. Trauma can only be registered now. The seeing is registered now, like it's now, and it can't be other than now. Never has been, never will be. And amen.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Well, it's reason to celebrate. There might be. It might be. I think that might be wrong. But maybe Kat might like a final little word or something. Kat, a final meow. Oh, she might be frozen. Maybe her she's just in perpetual smiling mode. God bless her. She's back. Okay. Did you want to add a final word?
Oh, so, wow, I loved your final words. That was beautiful. That was brilliant. That's why my smile flowed, because, that's yummy. Yummy. Already here. Already done. No objections.
Can you tell us in
one last.
By the way.
Yes, Kat.
Okay.
Sorry, 1 second, Heyman. Kat,
what was your emotion? What was your emotions once you got off the plane and visit your family?
She hasn't visited her family yet.
Not there yet.
No.
Apologize.
She's still flying.
She's still in the middle of flight.
Sorry, Kat.
Sorry.
Sorry, Heyman. Last word, Kat.
I'll ask next week.
What were you going to say, Kat?
Yes, just a reminder, and thank you, Heyman. Just a reminder that next week we're gonna hear Jane Little, and that in David was asking questions, about the role of different substances and stuff. I think Jane will be more than capable answering those questions from her first-hand experience as well. Not that there is anyone who didn't have ever any mind-altering substances, and there isn't. It's only life, experiencing an expressive dirty laugh. And so please show up, support Jane, answer questions, have a discussion next week, and then in a couple of weeks we're gonna hear Dean. So that's that. I'm pretty sure Bob would be really, really happy that the space is still held, even in his absence, although he's present always as that space. So thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out with
Thanks,
us.
Kat.
Online parents.
Thanks everyone here. Thank you everyone online.
Thank you, Sanjay, again.
And thanks to Sanjay.